Hello all, myself Parmala, working as an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today we are going to discuss about the concept data types. Let's see the topics what we are going to discuss in this today's session. First we will come to the introduction and then we'll move to the definition of the data type followed by the types of the data types. So these are the topics we are going to discuss in this present session. Let's move to the introduction. What is the introduction of a data type? Data type is nothing but that data type we use in a programming language. Data type means type of the data. The name itself gives the clear meaning of it. Data type. So which type of data we are using, that will be represented as a data type. So in the programming language, a data type will be used to store the data and the data will be processed. That will be processed. First we need to read the data, what information we require to do a task. That is nothing but data read. First we need to read the data and then the data will be processed. After that, that will be displayed to the user as the result. Okay, so data type is nothing but what type of data we are going to use in the program. That will be specified as a data type. So first we need to read the data, means we need to identify which type of data we need. That should be identified first. And then after identification we need to process it. What is the meaning of a process? For example, we have first suppose we need to perform the addition of two numbers. Addition of two numbers. Assume the two numbers as 2 and 5. So this is 2 and this is 5. Good. We have two numbers. So our data is nothing but 2 and 5. What is our task? We need to perform addition on 2 and 5. What is the symbol for addition? Plus. Good. 2 plus 5, it becomes 7. So here the addition operation, it performs on the data what we considered. That is nothing but 2 and 5. That is nothing but processing. So first we need to read the data and then it perform an operation on that and then it gives the output to us. The program converts input data, the data what we considered, into another form. One form of the data is converted into another form. What form it is? The input is converted as output. What is an input we considered? See, the input data is transformed as output data. What is our input here? 2 and 5. In our previous example, we have taken two values, 2 and 5. That is nothing but our input. What we performed on that? We performed addition. After performing that addition operation on 2 and 5, the data will be modified into 7. So the input data is transformed to output form. Likewise, a program which is for converting or which is for performing a specific task by taking the data what we have given and that will be converted into output, nothing but a result. Now see, first suppose here there is a boy. When I ask what is the age, what we usually tell? My age is 10 years, or we can say as 18 years, or we can say as 23, like that. Can we say the age as 26.7? Can we take? Can we tell or the age as 26.7? No. Usually 10 years old, 15 years old or 33 years old likewise will tell. Right? This is not the correct way to represent the age of anyone. Take the another example. First suppose, if I ask you to tell the weight, what is your response? Weight is nothing but which will be specified as 36.7 kgs. 36.7 kgs. Otherwise, 12.3 kgs or 22.5 kgs. If you observe the difference between the previous one and this one, in a previous example we considered the age of a person. How it will be? 10 years, 13 years, 45 years, likewise will represent the age. Coming to the weight, how it will be? 22.5, 12.3, 36.7, likewise. So which type of value it is? Is we have any decimal points? No. So age will be represented as a whole number and coming to the weight which will be represented as a decimal point. First suppose when I ask you to tell the gender, what will you say? Gender, either male or female. Which form it is? A character, right? It is nothing but a character. So if we take the age will be in the form of whole numbers. 33, 46, 19, 16, 3, likewise. Coming to the weight, which is in the form of, which form it is? Decimal point. So 26.9, 13.6, likewise. Coming to this gender representation. The gender will be specified as either male or female, which is nothing but a character form. Okay, what types of data we have seen here? A whole number used to represent the age, float decimal part to represent the weight, character to specify the gender. Likewise, here itself we have seen different forms: whole numbers, decimal part, and the characters. Now see, what is the data type? Data type is nothing but a type of data. Which type of data it is? Which type of data it is? Is it a whole number? Is it a character? Is it a decimal point? So which type of data we are going to use in our program itself is called as a data type. It is nothing but a set of values. Set of values. What values we are going to use? 2, 13, 16, 93.6 or M or X or Y? Which one it is? That is nothing but a set of values. In our example, a gender representation we considered a male or a female. While announcing the result, usually we will tell pass or fail. Result, how? P represents pass, F represents fail. So it is set of characters. While we are reading the age, set of whole numbers. When we are representing the weight of the person, it will be in the form of decimal point. So data type is nothing but a set of values. And also the set of operations on those values. Set of operations. What are the operations we can perform? Those operations are nothing but, in our previous example we considered that the value of the first one we considered as 2 and the second value we have taken as 5. And what operation we performed on those? We applied or we performed an addition operation. So 2 plus 5. So what is the operation we have here? Addition. So first we need to get the data and then apply a specific operation on those values and then it will be displayed as a result to us. Clear? Nothing but 7. So a data type is nothing but a type of data. It is nothing but a set of values and a set of operations what we are going to perform on it. That is called a data. Next. Data type is a storage format that can contain a specific type or the range of value, which is nothing but a storage format. Which type of data we are using? Is it the whole number? Is it the decimal point or the character? Which type of value it is? So which type of value we need to consider? How to store that? That is nothing but the storage format. Each one is having a specific range. Now, data type in the programming language is nothing but collection of data. Collection of data which is having a fixed meaning. First, suppose if we see the previous example to represent the age, in which form we represented it? As 12 or 13 or 36 or 59 likewise. So age will be represented as a whole number. The programming language is having a group of values. That values will usually called as a data. So the data is of different types. Then, so the type of variable determines how much space it occupies in the storage. Okay, good. When we are representing an age or weight or a gender or something, it needs some space to store that content. When we are specifying the age as some 16, to store that value 16 in the CPU, in the processor or in the computer, it needs some storage. So each type of value need some storage. That is nothing but here it also specifies the size of each type of value. So how much space is it occupies in the computer memory to store that value. Then, a data type is used to identify the type of variable. What is a variable? Variable is nothing but which can change its value. Varying means changing. For suppose we can take, let a equal to 10. Let a equal to 10. After some time, I can take the value of a as 12, where I am changing the value. So, the term which allows to change its value, that we call as a variable, which can change, right? That we can represent as a variable. So, this data type is used to identify the type of variable, which type of variable we need to declare in our program. And it also used to identify the return value of the function. So, about these functions we will see in our further concepts. So, using this data type, we can also identify the return value, which type of value it give back the function, that we call as a return type. And it is also used to identify the parameters, which type of parameters we should pass to the function. Right? Then, these are the types of data types we have. First one, basic or primary data types. Next one is derived data types, followed by enumerated data types and void data type. So data types, totally we have 4 types. The first one is basic or primary data type. Second, derived data type. Third, enumerated data type, followed by void data type. So these are the 4 types. Now see one by one. Coming to the basic data type. So basic or primary data type is having so many other forms. Now see the types of basic data types. So the types of basic data types are, the first is nothing but the int, nothing but integer, float for decimal point, double is also for decimal point, and then char means character. So these are the four types of primary data types. Int for integer value, float and double are for the decimal point, char is for the characters. Now see the next, derived data types. The derived data types are arrays, pointers, structures and unions. These are the four types of derived data types: arrays, pointers, structures and unions. Coming to the next, enumerated data type. Enumerated data type is nothing but enum and typedef. These are the two types in enumerated data type. Coming to the last, void data type. Nothing but void. So these are the different forms of data types. In primary or basic data types, int, float, double and character. In derived data types, arrays, pointers, structures and unions. Coming to the enumerated form, enum and typedef. In void and void type. Now see one by one. Coming to the primary or basic data types. In that, first we'll move to character form. Character data type. Character. If we see our previous example, what is that? To represent the gender. How we represent? What will tell? Male or female. But that to announce the result of a student. How to announce the result? Pass or fail. So pass with the P, fail with the F. Now see, character form. In that character data type allows a variable to store only one character. Character data type allows to store only one character, like gender means M or F. Pass or fail, P or F. Yes or no, Y, N. Likewise, only one character allows the user to store. So, male or female. Pass or fail. Yes or no. Likewise, only one character it allows to store. That is a character data type. In that character data type, the storage size of this character data type is 1 byte. 1 byte. The character data type is represented with the keyword char. If you want to use a character data type in the program, we have to use it as char. So char is the keyword which is having a fixed meaning. Char represents a character. So example of this is char some gender. Char gender. So here the gender we can initialize as male or female. Likewise. Okay. So character data type which stores only one character like this as or no, pass or fail, male or female, like that. The size of this character data type is 1 byte. 1 byte. Now see the size of the character data type. This is the size. Here, if we see this, the size will be represented. The size of each data type, each value will vary from one processor to other processor. Based on the compiler, the size of the data type will change. We have different types of processors, compilers, 16-bit processor, 32-bit processor, 64-bit processor likewise. So this is the size. These are the sizes of 16-bit as well as 32-bit. The size of the character data type sizes, this is the same in 16-bit as well as 32-bit. See, cal or sign character. In this, the size of this is 1 byte. What is a byte? 1 byte equal to 8 bits. 8 bits. Usually, the data will be represented in the form of a binary. What is a binary value? 0 or 1. Two values totally. 0 or 1. Two values. The size is nothing but 1 byte. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. That is 1 byte. Coming to the range. How to identify the range of a character? That is, size is nothing but 1 byte. This is equal to 8 bits. Coming to this range, it is represented in the form of binary. Binary means either 0 or 1. So total 2 digits. So 2 to the power of number of bits. 2 power number of bits. How many bits? Here it is 8 bits. Right? So 2 power 8. While identifying the range of any of the data type, this is the process to identify. So the size of a character is 1 byte. You just convert that bytes into a bits form, which equal to 8 bits. Now coming to the range. You take that as 2 to the power of 8. 2 power number of bits. Number of bits of a character is 8. So it equal to 2 to the power of 8. How much it is? 2 power 8. 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 2's 4. 4 2's 8. 8 2's 16. 32. 64. 128. 256. The value is 256. So here 2 to the power of 8 means 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2 into 2, which equal to 256. The value is 256. Here it is nothing but a signed character. Sign. Sign is usually of two types, positive sign and negative sign. So here in this 256 value, half values are reserved for positive and half are reserved for negative. So make this into 2. 256 by 2, which equal to 128. Right? So 128 bits are for positive and 128 bits are for negative numbers. One is for negative numbers and one is for positive numbers. Then 128 negative values means 128 negative values means minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on, minus 128. Minus 1, minus 2, minus 10 so on, minus 128. Okay, good. These are the negative values. And then 128 positive values. Positive values. So usually positive values will start from 1 only. Then how about the 0? Is it positive or negative? No. So while representing the positive numbers here, 0 will be considered into that. So start from 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Total how many? 128 values. If we start from 1, it it will go to 128. But here we started from 0. So that's why it is up to 127. So 128 negative values and 128 positive values. So 128 negative values means minus 1 to minus 128. Here we started from 0 to represent the positive value. So up to 127. So what is the range here? What is the range of a character, signed character it is? Nothing but what is the least value of this negative value here? 128 negative 2 positive 127. So the range of a signed character is minus 128 to 127. Likewise, we can identify the range of each data type. Okay, coming to, and here the format specifier we use is %c. What is the format specifier? The format specifier is nothing but which type of value we are going to use in the program, the respective term we have to use to access the data from memory as well as to store the data into the memory. That we call as a format specifier. So, for character, the format specifier is %c. And the other one is unsigned character, unsigned. Previously we discussed about the signed character, simply we can use the term as char. Signed char or char, both are same. And the second one is unsigned. Unsigned, there is no sign. If there is no sign, every value is considered as positive only. If sign is there, then only will represent as positive or negative. If there is no sign, everything, each and every value is considered as positive. So, coming to this, unsigned character, the size of this is 1 byte only. Then what about the range? Range is nothing but how to identify. 1 byte equal to 8 bits. 8 bits. How to identify? 8 bits means 2 to the power of number of bits, that equal to 8. 2 power 8 which equal to 256. Just we calculated it. And it is unsigned form. Unsigned means all are positive only. Is we get any negative value here? No. Then what is the range here? No negative value means we have to start from 0. So 0 to 255. So total 256 values. This is the range of unsigned character. And the format specifier here it is %c. For both signed and unsigned character, the format specifier is same, that is %c. Here c represents character. The next data type is integer data type. Integer. So in our previous example, to represent the age, how we represented it? The age as 10 years, 15 years, 19 years, 63 years like this. Which type of value it is? A whole number. That is nothing but an integer. So to represent such whole numbers here, we need to use a data type called integer. Now, the integer data type allows the values to store a numeric value, a whole number. The keyword for integer is int. Int is nothing but a keyword which represents the word integer, which is used to store the whole numbers. Then the storage size of this integer data type will vary from one processor to other processor. See, if it is a 16-bit processor, the size of this integer is 2 byte. If it is a 64-bit, 32-bit, it is 4 bytes. If it is 64-bit, it is 8 bytes. So, based on the memory, based on the size, here, the size of the data type will change. If it is a 16-bit processor, the size of the data type, integer data type is 2 bytes. If it is a 32-bit, the size of int is 4 bytes. If it is 64-bit, the size of this is 8 bytes. So, based on the processor what we are using, the size of the data type will be modified, will be varied. So the ranges may vary from one compiler to another compiler. Now see the sizes. Here we have different types of integer data types. First one, int. Int is the keyword which is used to represent integer data type. The short form of the integer is int. It is nothing but a keyword. Now, here integer is having a different forms. One is short int, second one int, third one long. So these are the three types of integer data type: short int, long. Coming to the next, this short int is again having two forms, that is signed short int, unsigned short int. What is this signed and unsigned? Integer is nothing but which is used to represent the whole numbers, which is having both positive and negative. Like in the character data type how we discussed, if it is only the positive, then that we call as unsigned form. Sometimes there is a need of representing the sign. In such cases, it will be considered as signed form. So, two different forms we have, signed and unsigned. So, the short int is having two forms, signed short int, unsigned short int. When we use these types, for suppose representing the marks, how the marks was represented? Like 96, 85, like this only will tell. So all these are nothing but positive numbers only. In such case, if we have any negative value in the marks, negative in the sense while announcing the result, have you seen any negative marks? In some physics subject, he or she got -12 like that? No. Everything is positive only. In such cases, we can use unsigned because there is no sign. All the values are considered as positive only. Then coming to other form. Signed form. While you are performing some mathematical operations like 6 minus 9. Here two integers we have, 6 and 9, both are integers only. And what operation we are performing on them? Negative, subtraction operation, 6 minus 9. What is the result of it? Is it 3? Can we specify like that? No. We have to represent it as -3. So, there we need to represent the sign. Assume, if it is 6 minus 3, then here we get 3. What is the sign here? Positive. So while performing some mathematical operations like this addition, subtraction and all, there we need to represent the sign of each value. In such cases, we have to use signed integers. So in the signed integers, here it consider both positive and negative. In unsigned, only positives. Then other form. Then coming to long int. So these are the forms in the short int we have two types, signed short int and unsigned short int. And then coming to the long int. How we have here the two forms in the short int, likewise here also we have two forms, signed long int and unsigned long int. Signed long int and unsigned long int. What is the need of this short int and long int? Because if you want to store much information, so many bits you have in the data, for suppose simply you want to store the data 12. It is a simple 2-digit number. In such cases, we can take a short int because this value is less. If you want to store 93,673, if such a big number we have, then we will move to other type. If we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 7, 6, like this we have another number. See, compare these three values. This is a very small number 93,626. And the next number 19,919,396,25. If different types of values we have, all these are the whole numbers only. But if you observe the difference from one to other, it is a 2-digit number, very small value it is. In such cases, this is sufficient to store. Short it. And coming to if which is having some more number of bits compared to that, then we'll move to this. First, suppose, see this, how big number it is, such a big number. So, in these cases, we'll move to long int. Okay? Then, so these are the different forms: int, short int, and long int. So, in these three cases, either we can represent all the numbers as the positive numbers as we discussed earlier. Otherwise, we can represent positive as well as the negative numbers. Based on that, each one is divided into two categories: signed and unsigned. Unsigned means there is no sign. Whenever there is no need of representing any negative numbers, then we can take unsigned number, because all are positive only. Unsigned form is only positive. Coming to signed form, as we discussed previously, while performing the mathematical operations like 6 minus 9, there we need to give the result as minus 3. In such cases, we should represent the sign, positive or negative. So, we should move to signed form, signed short int. Likewise, in long int also signed, unsigned and long int. If the value which is more than this, then we'll move to a long. Then, see the size and range of format specifiers of each one. Coming to the short int, the size of short int is 2 bytes. 2 bytes. Then what about the range? How to find the range of a data type? First, convert the bytes into bits. So, how many bits? 2 bytes equal to how many bits? 1 byte equal to 8 bits. So, 2 bytes. So, 2 into 8, which equal to 16 bits. How to identify the range? 2 to the power of number of bits, which equal to 2 to the power of 16. How much it is? Previously we calculated that 2 power 8 equal to 256. Likewise, so 2 into 16 times multiplied 2 power 16, which equal to 64,000. So 65,536. This is the value of 2 to the power of 6. Then, here is we represented any sign as signed integer or unsigned integer likewise? No. If nothing is specified, then that will be considered as, by default, it becomes as signed form. If nothing you specified simply as int or short int or long int, by default that will be treated as signed form. Means there is a sign. So if we have a sign, half of the values we should reserve for representing the negative and half of the values should be for representing our positive numbers. So half. The value of 2 to the power of 16 is, so in that value, make that as 2 parts and reserve half for positive and half for negative. So, by 2, which equal to how much? So, 65,536 by 2, which equal to 32,768. So, plus 32,768. Now, this is for negative and this is for positive values. negative values. From where it starts? -1. So -1, -2, -3 and so on. Up to okay. To positive number. What is the positive number? From 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on the last digit. So the range itself is nothing but likewise we represent the range of an integer, a short int. Then format specifier, here it is percentage HI or percentage HD. I is nothing but integer or D represents decimal. Okay. So these are the format specifiers need to be used when we are using a integer value in the program. Then see the next one. Next one is integer. Integer type. So what is the size of this integer? It is equal to 2 bytes. So short int is equal to integer. The size, range and the format specifier C. Either we can use it as percentage I or percentage D. So the size of integer is also 2 bytes. See the next, long int. The size of this is 4 bytes. 4 bytes. Then how to find the range? 4 bytes. Convert this into bits. 4 into 8. 32 bits. Then how to find the range? 2 to the power of 32. Calculate that value. It is nothing but simple long int. Long int. We didn't specify anything before that as unsigned or signed. Then by default that will be considered as signed form. Means it contains both positive and negative values. So positive and negative means what value you get here, make it into 2 and reserve half of the values for positive and the next half for negative. That's why the range of this is minus this value to plus this value. That is the range of a long int. And the format specifier is percentage Li or percentage LD. Then coming to the next. What we have? Signed short int. Signed short int. If you observe it clearly, signed short int and short int, these two. What is short int? Nothing we specified before that as signed or unsigned. So by default, the signed short int is nothing but signed form only. So short int is equal to signed short int. So size is 2 bytes and the range and the format specifiers. So signed short int, both are same only. If nothing we specified, if we simply write like this, the default specifier there considered as signed form, means it stores both positive and negative. Then coming to the unsigned, see the difference between the signed and unsigned of the short int to unsigned short int. The size is same only, 2 bytes only. What is the difference? In the signed form, we reserve half values for positive and half for negative. But coming to this unsigned means there is no negative value. All the values are considered as positive only. So, what is the value here? 2 bytes means 16 bits. So, 16 bits means 2 to the power of 60, which equal to 65,536, which equal to, the range becomes 0 to 65,535 because we started from 0. 0 to 65,535. Here all the values are positive only. That's why the value becomes like this, 65,535. And this is the format specifier used to use the unsigned short int, that is percentage HU. The other one is signed the short int or int. Then we'll move to the next form, that is called long int. So long int is also having the two forms, signed and unsigned. If you simply write the int like this, long int, it becomes signed form only. Both positive and negative it contains. So here see the different forms of long int, signed long int. What is the size of this is 4 bytes. It is a signed form. So signed long int is equal to the long int. See these two. Because if nothing is specified, that will be treated as signed form. Then coming to the unsigned form, size is same only 4 bytes. Then how to identify the range? Okay, 4 bytes means each byte equal to 8 bit. 4 bytes means 32 bits. When finding the range, we should take the value of 2 to the power of 32, which equal to this value. Here it is unsigned, means there is no sign. If there is no sign, all the values are positive only. So 0. So all the positive values we are starting here from 0. 0 to 4294, 967, 295. And here the format specified is %LU. And coming to the long int, which takes much memory. If you have the value which is more than this, so this form is not sufficient to store. For suppose you have a value that 4294, 967, 938. This is the value you want to store. If you observe it clearly, how we can store this value? The maximum range is here 32767 only. But here it is more than that. So this is not sufficient. And coming to here, this is also up to 32767. This is also not sufficient. Coming to here, it is up to 647 only. But here it is not sufficient. Then we'll come to the next. Likewise, it observes each and every one. So this is also not sufficient. Then we'll move to long int. The size of this is 8 bytes. 8 bytes. 8 byte means which equal to 64 bits. While finding the range 2 to the power of 64, we need to calculate. It is simple long int. So long int means by default it is considered as signed form. So make this, find the value of this and make it into half. So take half negative values and remaining half as positive. So the range here is minus 2 to the power of 63. Here this is the symbol used to represent the power. Cap symbol. So minus 2 power 63 minus 1 to positive 2 power 63 minus 1. So this is the range of long integer. So this is the size of integer and their forms. And here it is nothing but the size which is specified in the 16-bit format. What we have seen in the previous slide, the same is represented in a table form. So these are the sizes of each and every integer form in 16-bit. Okay. Then, if we see the 32-bit, see the 32-bit value. This is a 32-bit compiler. If it changes, automatically the size also change. If you see the size of this int here as 4 bytes, where in so here the size of integer is 4 bytes, where in a 32-bit compiler. If you see the same in 16-bit, what is the size here? 2 bytes. Is it clear? So the size of each data type will change based on the compiler what we are using. Then. So 32-bit size, compiler if we have. So these are the different forms of integer and their respective sizes, the range followed by the format specifier. Clear? Then see the other form. Floating point. Float point. What is a float? Is float point data type. Floating point. If we see that first example to represent the weight of anything. So how we represent the weight? 16.9 kgs, 32.6 kgs. So point will specify there. To represent such numbers, we need to use a float point data type. Okay. So see what are the different forms of float data types we have. So usually we have two different forms of the float. One is float, second one is double. The floating point is represented with a keyword called float and double is represented with double. Then coming to this, like how we have in integer, based on the compiler, the size of the float also vary from one compiler to another compiler, which is used to store the decimal numbers, decimal parts. And the difference between a float and the double is, float can store 6 decimal points that we can also call as precisions. After point, we can take 6 digits after point when we use a float. If more than 6 we have, then we should move to double. So that is the main difference between float and the double. So double is the keyword which is used to represent the decimal point values. So the range of the decimal is this. We will see these sizes and the range of each one in the coming slide. Now see. Coming to the float. Float can store 6 decimal places and double for 15 decimal spaces. If you have more than that, then we will move to long double which can store 19 decimal places. Means, suppose if we have the value like 1.33333, likewise if we divide something like this, sometimes we get the number like this, 33333 and so on like this. If it is 6 digits, then we can take a float. Or if it is more than that, then we should take a decimal. If it is more than 15 decimal points, then we will take long double. That is based on the value. If you want to get an accurate value and so many precisions you need decimal places, in such cases we will take the respective form. So coming to the size of each one, float is a 4 byte, double take 8 bytes, long double take 10 bytes. So coming to the size of each one, 4 bytes. Float occupies 4 bytes. Then how to identify the range of it? The process we know. Already we calculated for character as well as the integers. Then 4 bytes which equal to, each byte equal to 8 bits. 4 bytes, 32 bits. So 2 power 32. Is it represented any signed or unsigned form here? No. Then by default it is considered as signed form. So take the number, calculate 2 to the power of 32 and make it into half, and 1 half you reserve for positive and 1 half for negative. So that is the range here. So format specified here it is %f. Coming to the next, double value. Double is 15 decimal points and the size of this is 8 bytes and this is the range and the format specifier is LF. LF. And the next one is a long double. Size of this is this. We can use to store up to 19 decimal places. Size of this is 10 bytes. 10 bytes. And this is the range and %LF is the format specifier. So these are the sizes of the float forms in a 16-bit machine. Coming to the next, these are the sizes of the float form in 32-bit machine. What are the sizes here? So float 4 bytes, double 8 bytes, coming to long double it takes 16 bytes. these are the respective format specifiers. Percentage F, percentage LF, percentage LF. So this is about float data type. Float is having two forms. Based on the value what you get. So we need to use the respective form. Is it float or double or long double? So that depends on the number of decimal places what we get after the point. So if after the point we need to take only 6, then float is sufficient to us. If more than 6 we have, then we should move to double. If more than 15 we have, then we should take long double. So based on that, we need to take the respective form. Okay. Coming to the next. Void. Void data type. Void means nothing. The size of this is 0. Void type means no value, no size, no range, nothing we have. So this is usually used to specify the type of function. When we use such void forms is to represent the functions, to return something. If there is no value to return, then we need to use that void forms. We'll get like functions and the pointers. Then see. The void is used for representing the function. So function returns, we can return the function as a void function. For example, like this. Void some exit. See here the void. And the function argument can be used then. So this is about the pointers to void type. Next one is derived data types and enumerated data types. So derived form and enumerated form. Total we have 4 types of data types. One is a primary or basic data type. Second one is a void data type. Third one is derived data type. And finally enumerated data type. Now say about all these. Derived data types. So derived data types are arrays, pointers, structures and unions. So array is nothing but set of the same items, similar data items. Pointer which is used to store the address of a variable. Structures and unions are nothing but the collection of this value of a different forms. So one integer, one character, one float, like that. So we'll read about all this in our coming sessions. In the coming sessions we'll discuss about arrays, pointers, structures and unions. Coming to the next one, enumerated data type. In the enumerated form we have 2 types, enums and typedef. Typedef and enum is used to declare a specific data type, like how we have in char, float, double, likewise. Using this typedef we can create a new data type. So about this enumerations and the data typedef also we'll discuss along with the structures and unions. So this is about data types. What are the different forms of data types we have? All this we discussed in the today's session. Thank you.